Hello everyone, DJ Aaron here, back with another video. And yes, I'm shooting two videos in a row on this memory card because, why not? Anyways, like I promised, I would do a video update on this MacBook Pro. You guys may have saw in the last video that I was having memory issues with this thing, and one of the things that I found out is OS X is not perfect, especially with older MacBook Pros and all that stuff. This is a 2007 17-inch MacBook Pro. This is probably the mid 2007, who knows. This thing probably had a logic board replaced back when it probably had the recall and such. But anyways, I started having memory issues in Mavericks, and I really didn't understand why. Now, think of it this way. I'm going to try and open this thing, which is kind of hard when you hold the camera. So I'm going to bring this thing forward. I'm going to bring this up. There we go. So I was kind of determining what kind of issues I was having. The issue I was having was no more than a memory leak problem. This can happen in Mavericks because the operating system, yet again, is not perfect by any means. So-called friend researched a kind of a solution, figuring that if we install a NVIDIA GPU fix, that would fix the problem. Well, it fixed the problem somewhat, and lucky if this thing still has enough battery power to power on. It does. So anyways, I'm powering on the MacBook Pro, and while this thing is booting up, I haven't used this thing in a while since I put it up on the shelf, which is, I'm pretty much saving it for like DJ gigs and stuff. So I want to make sure that I don't use this thing too much as a main machine. Even though I would like to, there's a possibility that I probably won't. This thing does take a while to boot because it's got to start up services and stuff and all that. Hang on a second while I log in. So this is one of the MacBook Pros that had like GPU failure. Apple had a warranty kind of thing with Apple Care, and the thing you got to remember is a lot of these MacBook Pros were recalled, and a lot of them either had their logic boards replaced or the chipset reflowed. So around that time, if you were lucky, you'd have it pretty much like that. Now, we still have a slight memory leakage problem, which I don't think this NVIDIA GPU fixer will fix. It still uses quite a bit of memory, but as you could tell, the graphics are still pretty responsive. I mean, as far as that goes, it's still pretty responsive, and I don't think this thing is going to die anytime soon. We could go on the internet and we can actually tell that it still works while I fire up Chrome here. It may take a couple of bounces, but Chrome does come up. Now, Mavericks is a memory-hungry kind of... Mavericks is kind of a memory-hungry OS. They do say that it is better on memory, but why is... Okay, AdBlock Plus is working. I'm going to refresh that. It just takes a little bit of time for that to work. But YouTube still works. Everything on it still works. At least I think so. So, I'm going to play a video. We're going to play a video back. I'm just going to grab a certain video. Let's do some Multimedia J. As you can see, everything is still pretty responsive. And we go to the memory. It's to, should I say, 67, 275. So I don't think this GPU fix is going to work at all. But like I said, it does still work. But it is a shame that Mavericks is pretty memory hungry when it comes to all that. I could take this thing back to Leopard and it would work fine, but if I do that, I wouldn't have support for anything. I could be on 10.6, but then again, support would be very minimum. And the only thing that I could figure is if I reinstalled the operating system, etc. That would probably fix a lot of the issues. Right now, I think it is working okay. But, sorry. Anyways, filter process, update frequently, every 5 seconds. So it's updating every 5 seconds, okay. So, YouTube capability, it's still usable. Now when I take this to, should I say, some DJ gigs, now this thing is supposed to respond when I right click it. See, now it went back down to 204 and it's up to 206 now, but this thing either really needs a reinstall or kernel process terminated or something, or a reset of the kernel process. But you know, if we, alright, so one of the things that I do use this Mac for is DJing. Now, I use virtual DJ on a regular basis and all that stuff. Now, if I drag the windows, there is a slight jitter. So, either telling me that this OS needs to be reinstalled, and it's been used pretty heavily over the 3 or 4 months that I've had it, which is, so, odds are you really need to reinstall your operating system if you have just minor glitches. But I can move the windows, but yeah, I can move the windows around and it doesn't affect it very much, but it still moves pretty fast, so I'm not worried about that. So if we move this window around, you'll see that probably I do see a slight shadow, but nothing to be too concerned about. I will probably end up reinstalling Mavericks at some point, but for now, she is working the best way she can, and you know, it still works. We have we still have Photo Booth we can play around with, and it's still very responsive, etc. You know, any OS is still very responsive as far as that goes. So anyways, enough with my babbling. I'm gonna shut this thing down, and I thought I'd just do a video on Maverick, or on this MacBook Pro, because you know, I have nothing better to do. Anyways guys, peace out, practice and enjoy. Maybe I'll fire this thing back up one day and I'll give it a really good workout or something. Anyways, peace out and practice and enjoy.